In a world dazzled by bright stages and glittering lights, one man shines without ever seeing them. Andrea Bocelli is more than a singer. He is a living testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Blind from a young age, he has transformed darkness into a canvas for music, touching millions worldwide with his voice. Each note he sings carries love, pain, hope, and courage. His story reminds us that limitations do not define us, and the greatest beauty often emerges from the deepest challenges. Bocelli's journey is a symphony of light forged in darkness. Early life in Tuscany. Andrea Bocelli was born on September 22, 1958, in the small village of Lahatico, near Pisa, Italy. He was the younger of two sons in a modest household. His father, Alessandro Bocelli, worked in agriculture and managed vineyards, while his mother, Eddie Bocelli, cared for the family. Life was simple but filled with love, music, and the quiet rhythms of rural Tuscany. The gentle sway of wheat fields, the hum of his father's machinery, and his mother's singing created a nurturing soundscape. These early experiences became the foundation of Bocelli's lifelong connection to music and the subtle beauty of the world around him. A fragile beginning. Even before Andrea's birth, life tested him. During her pregnancy, his mother faced a severe medical emergency and was advised to terminate the pregnancy to save her own life. Eddie Bocelli chose to continue, a decision that would shape not only Andrea's life, but also his philosophy. Born with congenital glaucoma, Andrea saw the world only in blurred shapes and contrasts. His mother's face was a soft silhouette. Sunlight resembled smoke. This fragility pushed him to perceive the world through sound rather than sight, teaching him to hear deeply, an early lesson in resilience and the power of sensory experience. Discovering music through sound, Andrea's parents refused to raise him with pity, believing that resilience outweighed sympathy. He began learning instruments at an early age, including piano, guitar, flute, trumpet, and drums. Music became his window into the world. At 6, he started piano lessons, relying entirely on his ear to memorize and reproduce pieces. After losing his sight completely at age 12, he adapted by learning Braille music notation. Each composition became a mental map, with every note imagined and felt through touch. Bocelli once said, "I hear and I see through sound," showing how music became both his language and his way to interpret the world. The seed of inspiration. A pivotal moment in Andrea's life came from a gift from his old nanny, Oriana. She gave him a record of Franco Corelli, the legendary Italian tenor. Listening to the recording, the young Andrea was moved to tears, amazed by the human capacity for expression. "How can a human being sing like that?" he asked his mother. This moment planted a seed that would blossom into a lifelong dedication to music. It was a moment when the darkness around him became fertile ground for inspiration, a reminder that even in limitations, beauty can ignite a spark that changes everything. The accident that changed everything. Tragedy struck at the age of 12 during a football match. Andrea was struck in the head, causing a brain hemorrhage that permanently ended the faint sight he still possessed. Doctors tried multiple interventions, but nothing restored his vision. In the cold quiet of a hospital room, he experienced what he later called true darkness. Yet even there, music became a lifeline. Listening to Franco Corelli's voice once again, Andrea felt a path forward. This moment cemented his belief that darkness was not a prison, but a space where sound could bloom, where life's true light could emerge through passion and determination. Music as salvation for Andrea Bocelli. Music was more than a gift. It was a necessity. From an early age, he found comfort and clarity in sound. He recalled how classical music would calm him as a baby, stopping his cries and nurturing his soul. Each instrument he learned became a tool to understand the world on his terms. Music taught him patience, discipline, and creativity. It became a way to connect, to communicate beyond words. Bocelli's journey shows that even when one sense is limited, another can open doors to unimaginable potential, proving that the human spirit can thrive even in adversity. Challenges of school life. Andrea attended a boarding school for the blind far from home and family. The environment was harsh and lonely, with 64 students sharing a single dormitory. Daily routines were austere, including a small daily glass of wine to keep warm. Nights were quiet, yet filled with reflection. He listened to the wind and remembered home, allowing music and memory to carry him through solitude. These early experiences taught him endurance and self-reliance. Bocelli learned to find beauty and solace in stillness, cultivating an inner world rich with imagination. This period reinforced that resilience often grows from isolation, and that art can be a companion when others are absent. Mastering music against all odds. Andrea's learning process was extraordinary. He studied music entirely by ear and braille notation, memorizing complex compositions without visual cues. Each piece was an intricate mental equation requiring focus, precision, and emotional intelligence. Through this method, he mastered multiple instruments and later vocal performance. His ability to translate what he heard into profound expression exemplifies the mind's capacity to overcome physical limitations. Bocelli's dedication demonstrates that true mastery requires more than talent. It requires relentless practice, discipline, and the courage to trust one's unique abilities, even when the world measures success by conventional standards. A global voice of hope. Bocelli's rise to fame transformed him into a global symbol of hope and resilience. His voice, tender yet powerful, reaches millions across continents, inspiring listeners with its emotional depth. Beyond technical excellence, his singing conveys empathy, spirituality, and human vulnerability. Andrea has become a living reminder that personal challenges do not prevent global impact. Audiences worldwide feel not just entertained, but uplifted, comforted, and connected. In his story, people see proof that hardship can give rise to profound beauty, and that life's limitations can be transformed into universal gifts, spreading light far beyond one individual. The philosophy of light. Despite fame, Andrea continues to face personal challenges, loneliness, illness, and the constant search for meaning. Yet he embraces a philosophy that resonates with many. When life does not give you light, create it yourself. His voice becomes both an offering and a lesson, teaching that resilience is born of struggle, and hope is nurtured through action. Bocelli's journey shows that light is not merely physical, it is spiritual and emotional, a product of courage, faith, and persistence. In sharing his story and music, he reminds us that the human heart has an extraordinary capacity to illuminate even the darkest spaces. Legacy and reflection. Today at 66, Andrea Bocelli continues to inspire through music and personal example. He reminds us that true sight is not dependent on the eyes, but on perception, empathy, and sensitivity. Every performance is a prayer for resilience, a celebration of life, and an affirmation of humanity's enduring spirit. Bocelli's legacy is not measured solely in awards or fame, but in the lives he touches and the hope he instills. From a fragile child in Tuscany to a global icon, his story shows that limitations can be the birthplace of brilliance and that faith and dedication can transform the human experience. Conclusion: becoming the light. Andrea Bocelli's life exemplifies the power of turning darkness into light. Blindness could have been an end, but it became the beginning of a remarkable journey. His music is a language of hope, love, and courage, proving that limitations can inspire greatness. Bocelli's story reminds us that light often emerges from within, nurtured by passion, resilience, and faith. In listening to him, we are invited to see life through sound, emotion, and spirit, finding our own inner illumination. In a world often shadowed by struggle, Andrea Bocelli shows us how to rise, sing, and shine.